How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Mr. Mo Kelly here, KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And you ever sit with a TV show episode for a few hours and just ruminate on it? Just think about it. Even sleep with the lights on because it impacted you so much. We'll talk about it more in depth later. But the Paradise episode, which dropped at midnight last night, episode 7, yes, I'm going to be hyperbolic for just a moment. But right now, first response, rapid reaction, it's arguably one of the best television episodes I've ever seen. And that's within the context of the fullness of the series of Paradise. You'd have to see 1 through 6 to best appreciate episode 7. It was cinematic quality. As far as the storytelling. Yes, I said it and I meant it, Mr. Mark Ronner. I take none of it back.
I hate to agree with you. It really causes me physical pain to agree with you. But I watched it before I had planned to go to sleep last night, and there was no way I was going to sleep after that.
I just couldn't go to sleep. It was a treatise on the frailty of the American civilization experiment. That's all I'll say. It was a great deconstruction of what we as America actually is. And people can take that however they want.
It was that. I'm not going to invoke Rod Serling here, but I am drawn to stories about things hitting the fan and how that brings out your true character.
Yes. And it hit the fan. And it's lovely how Paradise tells a story in a wholly unconventional way. It's not like, oh, I've seen this type of story before. It's really, really different. And it gets better and better. Usually have a great start and then it peters off as you're getting towards the finish line. But this is the penultimate episode for the season. There's no way they can wrap this up in one episode. So if they don't have a second season, I'm going to go find someone and hunt them down.
I'm actually surprised that they kind of stealthed this, which may or may not be an appropriate term, but
not in today's world.
But I mean, we didn't know about any of this going in. We just thought it was another generic Hulu show with some people we liked in it, and I think they should have found a way to promote what was going on here without spoiling it.
The marketing, I actually thought it was genius. Now, it's a victim of its own success because since they marketed it in a very generic and I want to say pedestrian way, you get the benefit of not having anything spoiled, but it's a slow burn for people trying to catch up with it. Because if someone didn't recommend it to me word of mouth, I probably wouldn't have watched it.
Same here, yeah. In fact, I was about ready to call HR about you pressuring us all to watch a show you like, but it turned out to be outstanding. And without spoiling anything at all, it's got elements of a lot of conventional shows that we're all hyper familiar with in what turns out to be a very unusual scenario.
I would say even movies, but it's a lot more honest than movies of its ilk. I think it takes you down to a very human level that you don't see in other movies of its own ilk.
Yeah, and it's also a thing of its time. I mean, people are going to be watching this 20, 30 years from now saying, oh, that was in the zeitgeist back then. Oh, boy, do I get that.
Yeah, if you live through it, absolutely.
Yeah, that's not guaranteed.
Absolutely. And we're still trying to get Tawala to do his homework on this. Look, after a certain while, you just have to fail someone and give them an F for not turning in the homework assignment.
He's resisting your authority.
I've heard from listeners who said, Mo, I took your advice and I watched Paradise and now I love it. Look, there are very few shows that I'm this high on and would recommend to anyone and everyone. Very few shows. This is one of those like, damn, I've never seen something like this before. The way the story's told, the content of the story, and how you don't know you know whose story it is, but you don't know who you're always rooting for.
Did you get choked up at all last night?
I kind of did, because it really sat with me for a long time. There's no happy ending coming. That's the only thing I'll say.
There are some aspects of it that do pack kind of a wallop, no matter how case hardened you might think you are. And as we were talking about before the show, it's also one of those what would you do episodes. It's a Kobayashi Maru episode, isn't it?
Yes,
it really is, isn't it?
It is. You have to make a decision, and there's no good decision. They're just varying degrees of bad decisions and how many people it may impact.
Yeah, I mean, we got to talk about it off the air with the spoilers, because there are some things that were driving me nuts last night, like who was right and who was wrong, and there was no clear answer to those questions.
No, and you can empathize with a lot of decisions that the characters in their respective positions made, even though it came with consequences. And if you've seen the show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen the show, shame on you. You should have been watching it, but it's not too late. New episodes drop every Tuesday. In fact, this is a good time to start watching Paradise, because next Tuesday is the season-ending episode. So if you haven't started watching, you can binge the first 7, and then you'll be ready for the season finale on Tuesday.
So what's your bet? Is this going to be a one and done, or are they going to drag it out extra seasons?
No, it has to be dragged out extra seasons, if only because you'll have a cult following behind this show. And Hulu doesn't have a lot of shows that can keep people tied into the streaming app over multiple years.
I think I must be a sociopath, because without spoiling anything still, there were a number of moments in the show where I thought, I'd just shoot that person in the face. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Start spreading the news. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Yes. And I would not have heard any more dialogue from that person.
Yeah.
Get on Paradise on Hulu. We're going to talk about how potato chip prices tonight have gone through the roof. If you have a favorite potato chip brand, mine is Baked Lay's. Don't ask me why, but I like Baked Lay's.
No, those are good.
But those are the only ones I'll eat. I'm not going to eat Pringles. I'm not going to eat Fritos or whatever. But potato chip prices are soaring in the way that egg prices are soaring. And speaking of egg prices, did you know that eggs right now are going to go up probably 41% this year?
I thought that was going to be fixed right away.
We were told that it'll be fixed day one. For whatever reasons, it hasn't turned out that way.
Huh, who knew?
Denny's, they're adding an eggs surcharge, as many businesses now are, due to the rising prices of eggs. And here's some good news. Free medical cannabis, a program is launched in West Hollywood at a dispensary. Free medical cannabis. Free 99. It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Your app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Potato chips, one of my guilty pleasures on occasion. I like baked Lay's. Oftentimes when I get my lunch, I'll throw in some baked Lay's. We have them in our kitchen here, and I usually snack on them. Not a lot of calories, not a lot of sodium. I didn't say it was healthy, but it's what I like to eat. And I had known and noticed that the price of the baked Lay's and other potato chips in our kitchen have been slowly rising over the years. And I say over the years because it's something that has become more and more expensive, even more so than the recent inflation of the past year and a half or so. And then I saw this story on Yahoo News, and it confirmed what I had thought was happening. Potato chip prices are soaring for reasons beyond inflation. A bag of potato chips now costs nearly 50% more than 10 years ago. And that's saying nothing of shrinkflation, where you know that there are fewer chips in the actual bag and they're charging you more. There's a whole lot of air in those bags. I get a bag of baked Lay's and it's like 10 chips in air. And it's like puffy for no reason. And then you open it, it goes, and you see there's about 10 chips.
What's a bag of those cost in our break area?
I think it's like $3.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I think it's like $3 for like 10 chips.
Terrific deal.
I mean, seriously, I'm not exaggerating. 10 chips.
Yeah, you're right. Right. Well, Cheetos, you get a little more.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. According to Yahoo News, part of the rise is due to inflation, but another cause is, according to Yahoo News, our overheating planet. 10 years ago, the average price for a 16-ounce bag of chips was $4.27. By the end of 2024, it was $6.32. Inflation has contributed, but a warming world is thought to be another factor driving the increase. Here's what I mean. Idaho and Washington, and Mark, you may know something about this, are the leading potato producing states in the country. Idaho had its third warmest year on record in 2024, while Washington had its 15th warmest. And you say, well, what does that have to do with anything? Well, rising temperatures impact the soil. And if you know anything about potatoes, they're very sensitive to rising soil temperatures, which means it has become over the years more difficult to grow and sustain the same amount of potato crops for the amount of money put into them than in previous years. So as the climate gets worse or it gets warmer from year to year, it makes it more difficult or more expensive to produce the same types of potato crops. And of course, that's passed on to you and me, the consumer. And it costs much more for me to purchase my bag of 10 chips of baked Lay's.
Let's bring it back to you.
It's always about me. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No.
We pick these stories because I have to have a personal reference point.
Well, of course.
It's beyond your potato chips, though, because the price of French fries has skyrocketed.
Well, there's a potato tie-in.
There's
you know
a
that,
potato
right?
tie-in.
Okay. Yeah.
Hash browns, everything potato is not potato.
It's true. Everything that's connected to potatoes, I guess it's more easy to see the precipitous rise because everyone understands a bag of potato chips. You may not notice it in hash browns unless you buy those frequently. Mm-hmm. But if you're like me, you can get a few bags of potato chips a week and you can see, wait a minute, this is costing a lot more in a way that it just didn't a few years ago. Of course, a part of that is inflation, but inflation is more than just the arbitrary price that is put on by producers and grocers. There are other things which are fueling that inflation. And that inflation, like, for example, we know that egg inflation has to do with bird flu. That is a specific reason why eggs are costing more.
The specific claim.
Well, okay. Well, conspiracy theories aside. You know.
No, not conspiracy. I'm not talking about conspiracies of what is and is not happening with bird flu. I'm just saying that it's easy for markets to blame bird flu when there are other mitigating factors that they are denying.
Oh,
same as with these potatoes.
Oh, no,
yeah.
I absolutely agree that egg producers are taking advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Is there a legitimate shortage? Yes. Is there reason to believe that it's not as severe or not as cost impactful as we're being told to believe? I absolutely believe that the egg producers are saying, like, look, we have 5 fewer eggs this week. Okay. Why don't we charge the hell out of consumers while we can? Because everyone knows about bird flu. Let's kill 70 million chickens and see what happens.
Well, you don't just want to take the word of big egg.
Well, or big potato. I mean, really and truly, we don't know if it's the potato shortage. They can say it has to do with global warming, which I wholeheartedly believe that does play a factor because the ground is more arid, harder to grow everything. but it doesn't discount the long-term effects of the pesticides or anything else that they may be using on their grounds that may also contribute to making the ground infertile and unable for them to grow the same crop of potatoes. You can't keep tilling this land over and over and over without letting it heal to reproduce more potatoes. Mo, you're a 4-H'er. You know this.
Listen to Green Thumb Tawala.
Wow.
I had no idea. Look, this was not my 4-H specialty. I used to try to grow stuff in my backyard. A few times I grew some potatoes, was semi-successful, but in 4-H we have different projects, and we're not all agricultural farmers, all right?
Now, Tawala's onto something, though, and it's one reason why they say apples have like a third of the nutrition they used to have is the over-farming of the soil.
Well, and also GMOs. It's not like, well, I'm saying, but I'm saying it's not like apples just naturally stay red for a month. All right, let's be real.
Yes.
Okay?
There's that.
It's not like just bananas naturally stay yellow for a week. Unless you leave them in the refrigerator, they turn brown immediately.
Well, okay, I'm not going to be a banana truther here, okay? but those things were bred to be like that, and that's nothing insidious.
No, when I say GMO, I'm talking about genetically modified, which is a little bit different than breeding per se and using different seeds and, you know, more trying to like natural pollination or something.
I thought that any time that you bred two things together to create a new thing that didn't exist before, that falls under the umbrella of GMO. It's all GMO.
Well, I don't know if it falls under the umbrella. Okay, it's not like you and your long-suffering one can have a child. It doesn't mean that it's genetically modified just because you breed it.
Where are you trying to take this discussion?
My point is, just because you bring something together doesn't mean that it's been scientifically modified.
Do you have cameras in our bedroom?
You have a bedroom?
Never mind. I don't like the direction this is headed.
Oh, I love it when you're uncomfortable.
No. We're just talking about big egg, big potato, and how over farming and climate change. So here's the irony here. I have been to Idaho more times than I can count. I'm intimately familiar with Idaho.
How many Aryan gangs did you see?
Well, there's a lot of that there, and none of them believe in the climate change that they're all going to be dealing with very, very soon. It's going to complicate their food situation. There are a lot of preppers in Idaho, too. They've got barns and garages filled with dried stuff so that they can live 2 weeks longer than everybody else during the apocalypse.
Well, they might be onto something because we're like, what is the doomsday clock? It's got to be like 11:59 and 48 seconds now.
That's right up there.
And ticking.
Let's talk about Big Egg when we come back. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Egg prices predicted to soar more than 41% this year. More than 41%. In January, it was predicted to only be a 20% increase. And I'm not really good with math, but now that means it's more than doubled, and we're only in February, which means it could conceivably, likely, probably will be even higher come March, just looking at the trajectory. And the predicted price hike comes as a result of the rising bird flu cases. And according to the report, retail egg prices went up by 13.8% in January after rising by 8.4% in December. Overall egg prices in January were 53% higher than the year before. The national average price for eggs hit $4.95 a dozen for shoppers in January. I don't know about the national average, but this is what I've seen in my shopping. This is anecdotal. I can't tell you about the quality of the eggs in my local supermarkets. I'm just telling you what I see on the shelves. There have never been any empty shelves. The places that I shop, there's a Vons and a Ralph's in my neighborhood that I'll go to on various occasions, and they've always had eggs on the shelves. What I have seen is fewer egg whites being sold or being available, but had plenty eggs. The average price that I'm seeing, can't speak for you, Tuala, because we're in different areas, but my area, it's like $7.95, and that's for like 18, not a dozen, but 18 eggs.
Yeah, it's about 8 something when I was at Target yesterday.
And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. And we've heard of a number of businesses saying that they will add an egg surcharge. And I happen to like eggs. Well, let me say, I like to eat egg whites most days, or I'll eat egg beaters or some sort of plant egg product, because I'm not trying to eat whole eggs all the time for cholesterol reasons. But I do like eggs. And when I have any type of breakfast meal, I like to have some sort of egg product. Denny's is going to be adding a surcharge for meals that include the use of eggs. At some locations, of course, because of the rising cost of eggs, they're going to pass that cost on to you. Denny's did not announce which of its 1,500 locations would impose the surcharge, but I'd be willing to bet it's most of them. Since they're all having to deal with the cost of purchasing eggs, they're probably going to pass it on to you. Do you even eat eggs, Mark?
I do, and the irony here is that I've had some dental work lately, some traumatic, horrifying Little Shop of Horrors dental work.
Please share.
No, that's all I'm going to say about it. But I want eggs now, and this is exactly the wrong time to be buying them. That the Hooker Ralph's store that I go to after work at night between 12 and 1, they're up like around $10-11 for a dozen there. At least it looked that way last time I checked. I don't know what they are today.
Well, that's good to know.
We are seeing this everywhere, from grocery stores to bakeries and diners. Both of those types of businesses use a lot of eggs, so you see it there as well. And the average price across the country right now for a dozen eggs, $4.95. That was last month. A year ago, it was $2.52, which is a stunning 96% jump over the last year. And now that's what you're paying, what the grocers pay. That's called the wholesale price, was $8.07 in the latest weekly report. Many retailers sell eggs as a loss in the hopes that you're going to come in, pick up a dozen there, and buy a few other things while you're at it. That much higher wholesale price is a signal that what you pay at the grocery store, what we all pay, it could be going higher. And of course, this is if you can find the eggs. With bird flu spreading, many egg shelves at supermarkets are empty. In the past shortages like this, Robin, they were regional, but the USDA says this time, this is a nationwide thing.
Yeah, it's a nationwide thing, but I'm quite sure there's some price gouging going on.
Do you remember when eggs were so cheap that we threw them?
At cars and people.
Houses. They were so cheap, they were practically free. We would just throw them at anybody or anything that we felt needed to be egged.
My wife goes to Costco, I would say, once a week, usually every Sunday, and she'll get her box of 18 brown eggs. It's not going to really impact us. It's a couple more dollars, but in the grand scheme of things, Costco is so damn, I don't want to say inexpensive, but it's inexpensive enough where you're not going to be paying a whole lot more overall.
I have seen video online, viral video of people getting in scuffles at Costco when they put out the eggs.
Really?
Yeah.
My wife hasn't told me about anything of that. She hasn't had any problem.
Maybe she has perpetrated a scuffle.
Maybe. But the ones that she will go to, and she has like 4 or 5 that she'll kind of rotate on as far as where she'll go to shop. The one in El Segundo, the one in Inglewood, the one in Torrance. She'll go to any one of them. She hasn't had any problem, to my knowledge, as far as trying to get eggs. Now, she does know if you go on a Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, that's when they usually restock for the week.
Send her with some bear spray the next time.
Bear spray?
Yeah.
No. Because if we put bear spray in the house, she's going to shoot me in my face in the middle of the night.
Okay.
And we can't have that.
Yeah, we have that problem.
She's not to be trusted. I would never give her a weapon. And she's weapon certified. She will shoot me in the face. So that's why we keep it in a gun safe and only have the key.
Not really sure whose side to take on this.
Well, look, you've met my wife.
Yes.
Okay. She's very nice, well presentable, but she'll shoot you in the face.
Noted.
Not exaggerating. And she has a mean streak too.
Sure you want to be saying that on the air?
She doesn't listen to the show. It's
okay. Good.
Wait, of the things that she does eat, is eggs still on her menu?
Yeah, she used to be full on vegan, and now she's floated into more not vegan. That's the way I can describe it. Because she'll eat salmon and some eggs.
And some egg, yeah, okay.
But she's not going to have a steak or anything like that.
No, I just remember, I can't remember why, but I swear I recall her mentioning something about the fresh omelets on the cruise. And I remember when she said, I was like,
yeah, she'll get it. Yes, no, she'll get an omelet.
Yeah.
She'll get an omelet. She had her dietary lifestyle has changed and evolved over the years relative to her needs, because when she was working out, she needed more protein, and she wasn't just getting it from beans and lentils and that kind of stuff. So she said, I need to incorporate eggs and other types of protein sources. That's why. So it's kind of hard. I know she said I used to say she was a vegan. That would not be accurate. Not that I need to be, but that would not be accurate now. To answer all y'all's questions, she'll shoot me in my face, and she'll have an egg sandwich.
Not anymore.
That sounds like a full day.
I mean,
honestly,
bullets are too expensive and eggs are too expensive. So you're safe.
And we can no longer use egging as a verb.
It's not like she needs to buy a bunch of bullets. She just needs one. I'm kind of like prone and asleep. She kind of like sized me up. It's not like I'm running down the street or the hallway and she's going to shoot me.
It's not happening while you're awake.
Yeah, that takes the sport out of it, though. If it's going to be while you're asleep, set you on fire.
No. She's not about sport. She's about effectiveness and finishing the job. It's kind of like how she does her day job. It's quick and to the point. It's efficient, and she moves on to the next project. I believe in her former life, she was a contract killer.
I mean, the way you're breaking it down now, I'm kind of thinking maybe now.
You've been in my house.
You've
seen how she organizes stuff in the pantry.
Yeah.
And the OCD, which is like everything. It's almost like she's Ben Affleck from The Accountant.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can describe it.
She's good with numbers. Okay, man.
Right.
Okay.
It's all of that.
Be careful.
Is there a secret safe room with an armory in it at your place?
Well, I wouldn't know about it. That's
She's
the whole
hidden
point.
it from you. Okay.
It might be under the floorboards in her office. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. This is only halfway joking.
No. Tread lightly.
It's later with Mo Kelly. Yeah. Egg prices are going up everywhere. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app, but we have some good news just in case you happen to indulge. There's free medical cannabis in.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
West Hollywood. We'll tell you about that next.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
I don't use marijuana, and I don't say that to seem pious or anything. It's just not my thing. And also, I tell you about how I officiate youth sports leagues. I could be drug tested at any time. And you may not know this for like the city of Carson, who I officiate for. They fingerprint you because you're working with kids. I'm in the federal database. So it's not like I can do anything and they won't find out it's me. And also they drug test you. In theory, they probably won't drug test me again, but it's something that I'm conscious of. And even though it may be legal to use, it's still a fireable offense given what I do, since I work with kids as far as the city of Carson and Redondo Beach and Manhattan Beach. So it's just easier for me just to stay away from it. But for other people, it is a helpful item as far as dealing with emotional issues, physical issues. I remember when my father was declining, doctor had prescribed medicinal marijuana to help with some of his symptoms. So I'm not going to devalue its impact on people, especially when it comes to medicinal uses. And I saw this story and I thought it was worth mentioning that the Artist Tree is offering free medical marijuana to patients and veterans at its 2 Southern California locations. The Compassion Program provides free products to patients, quote, suffering from serious medical conditions, close quote, and military veterans. The program is available at the West Hollywood and Laguna Woods dispensaries. The company said it expects to help 100 patients monthly at each location. And to give you more information, patients must provide the same documentation that is required at all California dispensaries to qualify as a medical cannabis patient. either a MMIC or a physician's recommendation. And those who are eligible for 2 free items every month. Free items will include tinctures, edibles, topicals, flour, vapes from a variety of wellness brands. The dispensaries are at 8625 Santa Monica Boulevard in West Hollywood and 24902 Moulton Parkway in Laguna Woods. And sitting in tonight for Stefan is Robin, and you've probably heard her on the show before. Robin, do you use any type of marijuana? I don't.
Not anymore, but in college, I was crossfaded all the time.
What does that mean?
Where you drink and do weed. Like,
I've never heard that terminology before. Mark,
really?
Have you heard that?
No, this is going to be very useful, though.
Crossfaded. When you say crossfade to me, I'm thinking like a DJ and a mixing console. So I understand the terminology. I've just never heard it used like that before.
But I mean, is the thinking that the using both makes you rely less on the one?
No.
I mean, there's been research to that effect.
I mean, I was more into weed, but I got crossfaded all the time, and it got me in so much trouble. It was awful. And I stopped, I think once I got out of college. But
you're only like 23. College. What are you talking about?
I am 30. Okay.
30 was decades ago, okay? For me. Twala, have you ever been crossfaded?
No, and I've never been totally crossed out. No, I was totally crossed out off of some Everclear, but crossfaded, no.
That's grain alcohol, youngin. Wow. I know you don't know about grain alcohol. Yes, I know something about some Everclear. Everclear is like 90. What is
It's 90 proof.
Is it 90 proof? I thought it was 100.
No, it's 100 something proof because it's half that is the actual percentage of alcohol. I think it's like more like 150 proof.
I saw.
All I know is when you've had a 40 to the head, everything after that just goes down smooth. And Everclear, Everclear is 100 proof. Yeah, Everclear is 100 proof.
It's good for stripping paint too.
Yeah.
No, actually, no. It's actually like 190 proof. It's like 95% alcohol. You can get Jack Daniels, which is 100 proof. Wow. I know that because I have some at home. Everclear is almost like 90% alcohol, depending on the brand. And Everclear,
depending on the brand.
Do you think it's better to take it cold or lukewarm?
You mean Everclear?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's got to be
either way.
It's got to be cold. I mean, it doesn't freeze. It literally, we've left it in the freezer. It does not freeze.
Yeah, it does not freeze. But that's as far as I've gone. Everclear, grain alcohol. I've had a little bit of a joint in my life. I think one edible, and it never did anything for me. It just didn't.
Oh, now I see why I thought it was 90 proof. Yeah, because it is 190 proof.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, that's the one that we have. I'm looking at. I remember the bottle. I'm looking at it right now. It was 190 proof.
Isn't that banned now?
It is. It is.
I mean, in the late 1980s, when we were drinking it, you could find it in just about every liquor store.
I'm sorry. We're talking about getting cross-faded with the marijuana, though.
Yes.
I need to know more about the cross-fading.
Robin?
Honestly, I liked it better because when I smoked weed, it just enhanced all my emotions. But then when I got crossfaded, it mellowed it. I don't know.
So you're trying to fine tune.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Do a lot of people of the millennial, Gen Z generations do the crossfading thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
We even had after parties and everybody was crossfaded.
It's a brand new world. I know nothing about at all. Mark, you've never been crossfaded?
We're not going to talk about me tonight.
Oh, golly.
We're just going to talk about Robin. I think that's far more interesting. I'll just say, in general, I believe in the law. And that's asked and answered, counselor. Please move on.
But this is legal. So yeah. What are we talking about if you believe in the law? That means you can be crossfaded legally.
Oh, that's true. By the way, Everclear is the nastiest thing you'll ever drink. I think I was in college at a party and I had a beer in my hand and somebody was like, hey man, try an Everbeer, and they dump some Everclear into my beer. Easily the worst thing I've ever tasted.
Because you should not have mixed that. Okay?
But I was also poor, and I wasn't going to pour it out and waste it after somebody poured that in.
No, we use Everclear in what we call trash can punch or bathtub punch. We put a trash bag in a literal bathtub, and we put all this fruit, Everclear, and Kool-Aid, and we mix it all together. And it was really, really inexpensive, but it was a good way to set the party off.
Sure, yeah. If you can mask the awful, awful flavor of Everclear with fruit, do that. But Everbeer, thumbs down.
When you put it with fruit and Kool-Aid or some sort of fruit juice.
They call it jungle juice.
Jungle juice, right.
Yeah.
You don't really taste the Everclear. That's why when you're drinking 190 proof Everclear in a red Solo cup and Kool-Aid, you get 2 cups of that, you might be done for the night.
You're going to wake up with your pants around your ankles.
Okay, yeah. That too. We were a long way from the story, but I don't think we'll be able to get back now because pants around ankles is going to be the last word. It's later with Mo Kelly.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa Welcome Bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.